Hello everybody, this is Jasmina, and in this video I am going to talk about the negative symbolic stars. This is the second video on this. There are more negative symbolic stars than positive ones, but that doesn't mean it's going to ruin your life. It doesn't appear that the negative ones are necessarily stronger, except for maybe a few small ones might be a real problem. But when you use the positive ones, you can overcome that. So you take advantage, that is, actually use the skills, gain the skills that the positive symbolic stars gift to you. They let you have a better chance at, at doing whatever that symbolic star happens to represent. Be aware of the negative ones and watch yourself so that you don't start going down that path. That's basically how you can deal with this. And it also helps you recognize when maybe something is going on and perhaps why. So practicing using the skills that the positive symbolic stars give you is a way to overcome a lot of negativity. And then you tamp down on the negative effects from the negative stars. That's how you can be very successful even though you have negative stars, because everybody has negative stars. If you have a positive outlook, the positive symbolic stars express themselves easily. And you will be surprised that you have any negative stars when you have a positive outlook. If you have a negative outlook, the negative symbolic stars express themselves easily and you can get stuck and with because things will start to go wrong and then you become more negative and more things go wrong. So this is a thing you have to watch for in your life. If you're too negative and you have this outlook like life is going to suck, well, life will suck. That's unfortunately that's the way it is. So if you need to get help to get out of the negative set, a negative viewpoint, a negative everything, get the help. It's worth it because once you have a positive outlook, things start going your way. So what I'm going to talk about here are all of these symbolic stars. So it's relatively long, but I'm not going to spend too much time on each. So calamity is also called the robbery Shah. Basically, people with this have a much easier time becoming impatient. They may lose money because they don't think things through enough. They are not careful enough. So they may invest in something that isn't good. And they also could get into trouble like with the law or with something, concerning legal issues. But it's more likely that they're just going to lose money through carelessness. They're going to make a bad investment because they didn't look into it enough. That is basically what we're getting at here. So you need to look at both your day branch and your year branch. So those two animal signs. And you see whether or not you have one of these animal signs. Now, it is a repeated pattern, starting with a rat if you have the snake, ox with the tiger, tiger with the pig, or rabbit with the monkey. Now, the tiger and pig are actually secret friends of one another. So this is probably going to be the least nasty one of at least these first four. And so there is things that, you have to look at everything, but this still means that you have a tendency to be a little too impatient. So you have to watch that. And then it repeats: snake, tiger, pig, monkey, snake, tiger, pig, monkey. And so if I look at myself, well, I have the rabbit is my day branch and pig is my month branch. They both happen to be monkey. I don't have the monkey. The disaster. This is basically, it is more serious than the calamity. You tend to encounter more serious problems. And also you have a better chance of encountering people with bad intentions, people who want to scam you, people who might even want to hurt you, physically hurt you, that is, uh, steal from you, mug you, something like that. So this one is only based on the year branch, and it has a repeated pattern too. And so it's these 4 animal signs. And these are the cardinal animal signs, and it just repeats. Now, again, this is my year branch. I don't have a rooster, so I'm lucky I don't have this. So, and this one is something that is something I hope most people do not have, because it is more serious. And so you have to be more cautious in your life if you happen to have one of these. Don't go outside, or don't go, all over the place and just wandering around alone, because you may be a target. And basically you just have to be more careful in your life. So these are the 6 adversities. So basically, this isn't as serious. You just encounter some difficulties. You have to work harder to get to your goals, but it doesn't mean you can't. It just means that you just have to work harder than somebody else who doesn't have this to reach the same level of success. It's not really fair, but who said life was fair? This one, again, is only based on your year branch, and you see whether or not you have the animal sign listed here. Now I do. I have the pig, that's my year branch, and I have the horse. However, for me, the horse, and I think it's the rabbit from my day branch, create the intelligence star, or something that similar name to that. So if I use my smarts and my ability to think through problems, I tamp down on this guy. This one doesn't bother me much. And I'm a little surprised that I have this, because I don't think I've had such difficulty in my life to get my goals. So maybe it is here, but it isn't, because I use my intelligence star. It seems like this doesn't affect me very much. And that is just the combination I happen to have. Everybody else will have some different combinations. So you do need to look at both your positive and your negative ones. And when you have one that creates a negative thing, see if that same animal, or whatever it happens to be, creates a positive one. If it does, use the positive aspects. Use that star. Gain those skills, and this will cease to be a problem. So then there's something called the flying blade. There are a couple of the blades. And this is basically someone who just seems to get into accidents more than others. They can also lose money because they're a little careless. They don't spend enough time, like if they're investing, they don't spend enough time researching the investment. And maybe they are more likely to accidentally leave their purse somewhere, or their wallet somewhere, and somebody takes the money. Maybe you get your wallet back, but maybe you don't. But this one is based on your day master, the element in your day pillar. And the flying blade will be one of these animal signs. So this is my day master. I do not have the dog, so I don't have this. Now the sheep or goat blade, this character here is sometimes interpreted as sheep, sometimes as goat. This one is a kind of an interesting one. These people are usually quite powerful. They're suitable to be in the military. They really they tend to have a lot of energy. Of course, they can be impulsive. But this one is also called the Yang blade. Even though this is a different character, it has the same rules, so it seems to be the same. But these people can get into trouble because of their impulsiveness and their aggressiveness. So this isn't fantastic to have, but it's also not terrible either. Let's say you don't get pushed around if you have this. So depending on where you are, this may actually be a very positive thing, because you won't be so easily abused. So it's based on the day master, and you see whether or not you have the particular one. Uh, my day master is yin wood, and I don't have a dragon, so I don't have this, so which is okay with me. But this can be very, very useful. And it can also get you into a lot of trouble. So it's one of the double-edged kind of uh, formation. So there's something called separating angle. It's a very strange name, but that's basically what it translates to directly. And here you're more likely to encounter lawsuits, legal issues. You just have to be really careful about the things that you do. Make sure they're as legal as they can possibly be. This you have to look at your day branch and at your year branch. And this is, and you're looking for this particular animal sign. Now, my day branch is a rabbit. I do not have the snake. But my year branch is a pig, and I do have the ox. And this would be affecting my career because the ox happens to be in my month. But I would say I haven't gotten any lawsuits concerning my work. So perhaps because of a different star, which I can't think of which one would be now, but for some reason this does not seem to be affecting me. In fact, I rarely get into any kind of lawsuits or anything like this. It's just I am a little careful about the law. Rules are another thing, like traffic rules. I do speed. Everybody speeds. I don't tend to run lights or anything like that, but you know, I do differentiate between laws and rules. Rules are made to be broken, laws not so much. So the best interpretation or translation of this particular symbolic star is gang leader. Uh, but you're not going to see it listed like that many places. It just is a transliteration of the two characters, or how you would, it's more or less pinyin for the two characters. But I'm going to call it gang leader because I don't do very well with pinyin. But these people are quite tough. They they they're often quite scary because they are very powerful, usually. And if it turns out in the best circumstances that if the best part of themselves are coming out, they tend to be quite upright. They know what's right and wrong, and they stick with the right. They're very decisive, and they dare to do things that others do not dare to do, but in a good way. So these people can be very, very positive for a society. But at worst, these people are people you dread interacting with. They get angry very easily. They cannot communicate what their issues are, and they don't want to change. So these are the 4 day pillars that have this. Now, this is only 4 out of 60, so this isn't very common. But the water dragon, the metal dog, and the earth dog. These are the 4. Now, if, let's say, you have to look at your whole chart to know which side is more likely to come out, the positive side or the negative side. Let's say you have a lot of water in your chart. These people are adaptable. That's what water does. And also maybe a lot of wood. These people grow, they learn, that's what a lot of wood will do for you. So if you have those conditions, then it's more likely that whatever you have here isn't going to be the negative side. It's going to be the positive side. So you have to look at some of these stars in combination with your overall chart balance and overall chart elements. And that can alleviate a lot of these problems. And that's why some people can be quite good and others can be quite bad because of the overall chart balance. So retreat is a pretty negative star. You can, if you have this, you find that you have a hard time keeping your salary. You're going to be one of the first people to be laid off. Uh, Things just don't tend to go smoothly, but there is a way to deal with this. You have to not be aggressive. And if you have other aspects of your personality that make you aggressive, you have to learn to tamp that down. Because the more aggressive you get, the more likely you are to get fired. So you have to basically retreat in order to advance. You have to accept it. Perhaps you look for another job. That's a way to do it. But you don't fight with your boss for if you happen to get a salary cut or demoted or whatever. You can go to a different place. That's probably the easiest way, because then you're not showing any aggressiveness. Now, this is also pretty rare. You're looking at the day pillar again. And so it's the fire ox, the water dragon, the fire goat, and the water dog. Those are the four that have this formation. And again, the more fire that you have in your chart, the more passionate you are, and usually you can overcome this. If you have water, you're a lot more versatile. It actually doesn't probably bother you a whole lot that you have to move from job to job, because you like that change, because water likes change. So this isn't necessarily nasty. This is another one that you have to look at your overall elements to see how this is going to affect you. Then there are the four wastes. These people tend to be physically not very strong. So because they're sick quite often, they don't tend to accomplish as much as other people do. But if you have elements to strengthen a weekday master, and assuming you have a weekday master, this can be overcome. So this isn't the worst thing in the world. Uh, but it, but if you do have a weekday master, then yes, this can definitely affect you. So this depends on the season in which you were born. Now, spring includes the tiger, the rabbit, and the dragon months. Summer includes the snake, the horse, and the goat months. Autumn includes the monkey, the rooster, and the dog months. And winter includes the pig, the rat, and the ox months. Now, this is actually my day pillar, but I was born in the winter, not in the autumn, so I don't have this. Now, it's not a disaster to have negative symbolic stars. Everybody's going to have at least a few. In fact, you're probably going to have more negative stars than positive stars. But that is not a disaster, that is normal. If you use your positive symbolic stars, you can overcome any vulnerabilities that arise from the negative stars. But you have to use those positive stars. You have to use whatever skills or talents or advantage the positive ones give you, so that the negative ones cease to be a problem. In my experience, one positive symbolic star used to improve your skills, and you actually use it, can overcome as many as 5 or 6 negative stars. But that's just my experience, and it's with looking at my own life and what I have from the things like actually from the Chinese Metasoft site, which is what I usually use. But again, that's not free. But that gives you a pretty good overview of what your stars are. The Batsa calculator site will also do this for your natal ones, but it seems to be a little bit, maybe they need to do a little bit more work on it. It seems to be repeating things multiple times, which is a little confusing. They might use slightly different names. It gets quite confusing. But the Joey Yap site only tells you the annual stars, and they do help you to figure out what to do during a certain year, but that doesn't tell you what your base is, what your basic issues are, which I think are actually more important than just looking at the annual stars. because if you don't solve the problem that's at the heart of your issues, trying to do something a certain year is not usually going to be very effective. So this is the last of the negative stars. I'm going to have at least 2 more videos of some miscellaneous ones that are mixed, some of the ones that I've missed, and I may add to that one. It'll be under miscellaneous stars. And then I also am going to have one on a very specific star that is either negative or positive, but is very complicated. So there's at least a few more to come. And then I will move on to doing the climate, talking about that. Thanks for watching.